Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ray, also known as Meatloaf Man, and I'm the Purple Squid of the Inkling podcast. What you're about to watch is our Season 1 finale of the show, which is special in that it is the very first video entry in our series of audio-only podcasts. We have had other Inkling Brothers related videos before, but this is the first actual podcast episode that contains video footage. And what better way to have a visual season finale than with a live discussion panel? This is the What's Crackin', a live Inkling Brothers podcast panel, a special panel formatted to work like the show with open audience participation, held at the one and only Liberty City AnimeCon in New York City. Now before going in, I'd like to preface this episode with a heads up. For once, I should note that Lawrence, who is one of the three main hosts and Blue Squid of the podcast, is absent for this panel, as he was unable to attend the convention the weekend this panel was held. That said, I took up the reins of hosting this time around. In addition, you'll be seeing Eric and Isaac the Red Squid present with me. I'd also like to bring mention to the fact that we invited a special guest to join us, that being none other than our dear friend Erin, known online as Flowithit Cosplay. She definitely helped liven up the panel and is overall a great person, and we'd appreciate it if you gave her some love on social media, where you can see more of her awesome cosplay work. You'll find her stuff linked in the description of this video. Erin, thanks so much once again for joining us on this. Finally, I should note that the video will begin sometime in the middle of the panel itself. Unfortunately, we do not have any footage of our intro or beginning portion. The reason for this is a combination of two things. For one, a panel that preceded ours ran over their given time and we began setup a bit later than we were supposed to. On top of that, we did run into some issues with the equipment we were using, so as far as we know, this is all there is. Though it's better than nothing and it's still a considerably huge chunk of it, so we hope you guys enjoy it nevertheless. One more thing I'd like to point out as a related side note is that there are additional live vlogs that I personally filmed throughout the weekend of this convention. If you're interested in seeing a little bit of what we did and how the event was like, definitely check out the playlist on my YouTube channel, which will be linked below. And if you're interested in attending future editions of Liberty City AnimeCon, a link to the convention's official website will be down below as well. Check it out to inquire more information, and as always, stay tuned to our social media handles to find out if we're doing anything at future LCAC events, as well as all other pop culture related settings. Oh, and hey, if you're a fan and you want to see us at a certain convention, make sure to email your convention heads and recommend that they invite the Inkling Brothers podcast as guests. The more interest and popular demand there is for us, the easier it'll be for us to pop up at every cons outside of our area. Again, big shout out to LCAC for having us, as well as all panel attendants who came through and supported us. Hope we can do more of these in the future. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
What's it? Matchmaker. Were they the same blood type? She was a ghoul.
Yeah.
What's a ghoul's blood? Do they contain the same blood type as a human? Like, are they like...
I don't think they have
I think the pH is a bit different. I like to think that. All that coffee, it's really acidic. It's got a really low pH. And I like to think that through their bloodstream, they're probably,
Yeah, I think if a body does, pH is better.
There you go. Science, guys. We're better scientists than that doctor will ever be.
He did say he was going to take full responsibility. Where'd it go?
I mean, Isaac, do you have any superpower you want to contribute? You kind of been silent.
You just remind me what the topic is. There's a lot that's happened.
It's cool, man.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about the good and bad superpowers in anime.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like Tokyo Ghoul too. I think the powers in that one are cool. Just seeing these teenagers really tear up other people on the streets of Tokyo. It's pretty crazy to see. And just the idea of them growing appendages and doing crazy stuff, like growing a third arm or something, I think it reminds me of monster movies, and I like monsters and any powers like that. Also, it reminds me of just video games where you had Resident Evil, where you have these crazy monsters coming out that have a broken jaw and two broken arms. But it's creepy and it's cool. The powers in that one are just like you said. It's weird how a doctor just puts people together like that. But yeah,
You see that all the time?
nah. Yeah, Tokyo Ghoul powers are ones that I really like. And
I feel like he's like a doctor from the Human Centipede, but he has good intentions.
He has good intentions.
No.
Like,
You said the first one. That's so true.
he wants to feed everybody.
In an innovative way.
Yes!
I found the cure of hunger.
Everyone line up.
If we just all connect, all 11 billion people in this world, just one jump.
What would go into like choosing who's the head of like the entire world?
It's a wrap.
Ooh. The Hunger Games.
Is this where the line starts? Alright, so does anybody else audience participation? Do you guys have any
cool powers?
No, don't tell me what powers you have. Wait, we can discuss
We're talking about
this.
both good and bad powers, right?
Yeah.
Harems are absolutely worthless.
Wait, what?
Oh,
It
Okay,
begins.
so, alright, level with me, Erin. Alright, so harems, like when you look at it like on a base level, it sounds really good. Like you have like all these girls or all these guys like coming after you. Like it's everyone's favorite dream.
So what dream
But-
is true?
But like think about it, like after, like does anyone think about what happens afterwards? Like what if they like got married or something? That's a marriage disaster.
I feel like the only anime
That's why you never see after happily ever after.
First story of his vampire. Oh.
I think in Demon King Daimao, the main character ends up marrying all the girls, all the 5 girls, I think.
But
There was
So
a
he's a
picture of
Mormon?
it in the light novel.
how do you even contribute to that?
I hope he finds Jesus.
Hey, did you go out with that? Oh, hold on, is this 18 plus? I just need to make
Yeah, it's 18 plus.
Okay, so it's like,
Curse all you want.
hey, did you go with that slut
We
last
are
night?
an 18
I read your
plus.
text last night. I thought you chose me. Like 5 episodes later, like, I'm taking the kids. But I have.
If you want a good hair,
Well,
look
you're
at
gonna
those Samurai
all
Girls,
of them.
okay?
Excuse me.
Oh, Samurai Girls is a great show. For someone who likes hair, I really recommend it, especially its visual novel. No. Oh, Samurai.
He has no money.
Yeah, does anyone else have any contributions to the topic? Oh yeah, you.
Was I in the Phantom World?
What was the question?
Was I in the Phantom World? Yeah.
Myriad
What do you
Colors
have-
Phantom World.
Oh, fancy world.
What do you think about it in terms of I heard a lot more, it goes a lot deeper than it actually does in the show itself. And it's sad that there's no translations at all for these levels.
That's the case for most novels.
What's your opinion on the power?
I've never read it, unfortunately, so.
It's really colorful. Everyone has, so it's as if that there's another dimension to the world, but for some astronomical reason, they're able to see imaginary things as real things. It's sort of they sort of tie it into spiritual sense too. So, for example, one of the spirits was like a lamp. They said they weren't getting enough. Like the construction site wasn't doing anything nice for them in a sense, and so they were trying to mock them and create havoc in the area.
Sounds
like
it's schizophrenia.
I recommend it because it goes deeper into the idea of powers, and they did some stuff with a few of these. I would say, sort of like a how do I say it? They did an experiment and chaos.
Okay.
I just don't know what to say.
We can interpret this so many ways.
It's happening. Happening.
Well, that sounds good. So, I guess if we pretty much just move on.
You want to go on to gaming? All our stories.
Gaming?
Yeah, this is gonna get good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about.
That's not online.
I don't care.
We're going to talk about the most infamous moments of online gaming and church moments. Let's start with infamous because it's good.
Let's start with Club Penguin, everyone's favorite.
Club Penguin shut down March 29th.
Rusted box. That's all fun. No, Rusted.
No, it was, I think it was mobile, I think. Because we were all playing Club Penguin before March 29th, right? Yeah. Clubpenguin.com/.
Yeah, no.
I'll be honest with you, I only made an account just so I could watch it die.
I joined you because of all the crazy stories I heard.
Did anybody tune into the Captain Nintendo Dude stream of like the last moments of Club Pengiun? Literally when the servers just shut down.
I thought people didn't like Club Pengiun. That's why they shut down.
Are you kidding me?
What?
There's so many.
I have not seen anything. I have not seen
I love saying for us and then get it immediately banned.
That's the thing. There's a whole Twitter account dedicated to come play with bands. Best ever. Like this.
It's true.
Pretty much what Club Penguin's become.
I'm tired of the art. Get this out of here.
All right. Best part about Club Penguin are the memes like this.
Yeah, but there was only like one meme of coupling like once every 3 months.
Wasn't it shut down because of global warming?
What?
Can you say that? Can you say pussy?
No, it's like this.
No. I mean, called penguin.
Clearly.
Before they put the limitations on it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I remember.
No, wait, there was a time they didn't have limitations on the penguin?
No, yes, there was a time.
That's beautiful.
Like that was in the early years, but then when years passed
Good old
by,
days.
That was literally the biggest mistake they ever did.
They ever did.
Okay, so if there's a time that you ever want to just travel back into, if you ever just come across a time machine or just have a time travel superpower, going back to when Club Penguin didn't have the language restrictions is definitely one of those periods.
Oh, I want to teach children everything.
Forget the beginning of
He's showing
time.
me what you kept Penguin.
Like go online and give all the kids the talk before the parents do.
We're at a Club Penguin account, just to be sure.
I still have.
Mike,
So did you guys ever have any funny stories that happened? 'Cause I have one where I was just
online. I only chose the safe memes. Like these are the safe ones.
They're the safer ones.
Safer.
Yeah.
The safest. But I remember one great time I was logged on and this guy was just talking, and I didn't realize this at this first because I hadn't seen the movie yet, but he was going through the script of The Room with another character in the game. So he's just going through all the lines like, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa," and I'm like, man, there's some marital strife going on. What's going on? And it only clicked with me once I saw the movie when I was older. It's like, oh, that's what.
Yo, they're ripping off Club Penguin.
No, mine was actually legendary. Cause like, have you guys ever seen that meme where this one penguin goes up to this other one and he's like, on a scale of 1 to America, how free are you? And then the other penguin is just like, North Korea. I was in there actually still playing.
You were there.
I realized, oh my god, that's my penguin. I'm like, I really made that much. It was awesome.
Those moments are the best when a penguin comes to talk to another one, and then he just immediately leaves after the response. This one is something that happened to me when I saw it. Where one penguin walks to another and starts flirting with that penguin, and then the penguin responds with, "I'm gay."
No one ever flirted with me on Club Penguin.
What are you looking for in a penguin?
I want to know if someone met their lover on Club Penguin, like the person that they married.
Can we look that up actually?
Actually,
Can penguins have a concept over sexual orientation?
Dude, the penguins have waifus in Japan. Didn't you see that?
Oh yeah, that's true! Remember that rifle with the cardboard cutout? Has anyone seen that?
yes.
Okay.
They had to walk him away from his waifu because he wasn't eating. It was so sad. Great
Oh, the
food.
fan art that came out of that, it was just the most adorable thing ever.
I think he still has his cutout.
Is it still there?
I think it is, although I haven't heard from
He's
him.
dedicated to his wife, man.
Yeah, I
Because
know. It's
for
passing
an
on to
animation.
animals. I'm surprised not all the other animals are doing the same. Like, it's just great cool.
I think it was because his other partner left him.
You see, this is
And he was like kind of heartbroken and then found interest in the cutout.
In the 2D world.
oh yeah.
Welcome, great kid.
I've heard of that.
My Club Penguin was the closest thing to a crazy Catwoman because I have like no friends but a shit load of animals.
Puffles. I think it's beautiful that after 10 years of you not playing Club Penguin or Webkins or all that stuff or watching Arthur, they turn into memes. And Arthur memes
Yes.
are my favorite kinds of memes.
It just came out of nowhere.
Oh.
I was surprised that show is still going on.
Is it?
Yeah, it's still on.
Oh, that's
The Caillou ones too.
They're making an offer.
Caillou?
How you still going on?
Are you still going
Yeah,
on?
Caillou's
He would
animated.
have died by now.
Caillou was animated in Flash now.
What?
No.
I thought Arthur was animated Flash now too.
Is it?
It might be.
Because I was flipping through channels and I randomly just caught Caillou and I noticed.
Alright, be honest with us, how much did you watch?
Like 5 minutes.
Oh.
Because it was just ending. But the animation.
So if it wasn't ending, you would have watched.
You would have watched the whole thing, right? Admit it.
But the animation just looks so weird compared to like the earlier episodes that I watched as a kid.
Oh,
like,
Peppa Pig too.
You sure they didn't animate that at Pivot?
Are there Peppa Pig memes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Haruhi is in Peppa Pig.
Everywhere.
Someone found like a weird drawing that looked exactly like Haruhi in Peppa Pig. I told him. Yeah.
These people they got nothing better to do when they're making these kids shows. Just sneak in anime references. The adults watching catch them.
I would totally do that.
Yeah.
Show.
Lazy Town?
Oh, that was
Robbie lives!
What's beautiful is that there were these two Facebook groups. They both had at least 30,000 members. One was called Lazy Town Rotten Posting, and the other one was called Lazy Town Sports Posting. And they both hated each other. And each group was dedicated to memes about the other group. And the admins actually were very dedicated, and if they saw that you were also a part of the other group, they would delete you. So it was really, really brutal for your time after that. It was
The great
funny.
internet war. Lazy Town fan groups.
I think it's beautiful that also Lazy Town Sports Posting was full of good people who moved on with their life, but it's Lazy Town Rotten Posting, on the other hand, is still very alive and has actually been taken over by a girl named Katie Robb, who turned it into a shrine dedicated to her, and now it's no longer called Lazy Town Rotten Posting, but it's called like High Class Glass for Sale. It's still kept all 30,000 members. I forget what it's called now, but every week they change
They
it.
decided to stay?
It stays, and it's just a shrine to Katie Robb. I don't know how this happened.
The way you described that kind of reminds me of, you guys know who Fred is, right?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of weird if you go look at his channel right now because literally Lucas Cruikshank is no longer making content on that channel. Like, it's just full of random kids.
But he
videos.
still makes videos of like shit that he used to do with Disney.
Yeah.
And stuff. I love this channel. It's hilarious.
Yeah, when you find out, like, you know, the behind the scenes, like, of an actual creator, like, what actually goes on in their life and what they go through when they make these videos, going through the whole process of it. It's really interesting. You just see another side of the person that you wouldn't see when they're playing a character. Kind of like Doug Walker and the Nostalgia Critic in a way.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so back to Club Penguin.
Word of advice if you want to do podcasting, don't be afraid to go off topic.
Yeah, just saying, if we
Just
go on
close
a
that, it's
tangent,
fine.
it's normal, it's part of the show. We've come to accept going off on a tangent as just being one of the greatest conversations.
And what better tangent than Lazy Town fan groups?
You're welcome.
Yeah, I love how we're about anime, but we somehow went all the way to Fred.
Fred is anime, man.
What is it?
Have you heard his voice?
Yo, John Cena is his dad.
And John Cena is the biggest fan of anime ever.
He's also Father Mean.
I don't know how Fred did not make himself into an anime.
Really? Probably could.
He really could have.
What's no funny?
If you're talking about in Japan, it could happen.
He can't voice act for shit, and I know that because when he was on Hannah Montana, he told the story on his channel.
He was on Hannah Montana?
He was on Hannah Montana.
Oh my
When
god.
he was like 12 or 13.
My favorite anime.
Do you mean to tell me the world of Hannah Montana and iCarly are connected?
Yeah, because I know there's an iCarly, but I've never seen him on
No, there's iCarly and Victorious.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
an anime on iCarly Victorious?
What?
There's an anime of iCarly.
No.
But anyway, so he said he just came home one day from school, and his mom said, "Oh, the producers of Hannah Montana want to talk to you." And this actor Fred had taken off, and Skype called him, and they said, "Can you do voices?" And he's like, "Sure, I can do voices." When he really cannot. He's like, "Sure, we're just going to write you in as a voice actor into the episode. You'll come right in, and we'll let you know the script." And after he hung up, he's like, "Shit, I don't know voices. Whatever's gonna happen, I don't know." So he gets down to California wherever they film it, and he sees the script, and they make him do a whole bunch of animal voices, like a mouse, a goat, a cat, and on the fly, he has to just think, what would that animal make? And you can watch the episode with this story in mind, knowing what happened behind the scenes. It's so funny to watch him try to do his animal voices on the fly. And the producers must have watched this and been like, he can do voices? He thinks he can do voices? And somehow they kept it in. And they probably didn't find out about the story until, 10 years later when he puts it on his YouTube channel.
Say, yeah, this is only the kind of stuff that you would find out 10 years later after the fact, because who would have thought that 10 years ago, like, Fred was just in a Hannah Montana episode as uncredited, like, animal voices?
I think it was 10 years.
Pro Jared thought he had it bad when he got that gig on Nick.
Oh.
Who?
Pro Jared?
Pro Jared,
Yeah.
have you guys, like, I mean, I don't expect you guys to know, but there's a show on Nickelodeon called Game Shakers,
Did
and...
it get canceled?
Did it get canceled?
Did it already?
I'm not sure. I just don't remember it running anymore.
Well, I mean,
Nickelodeon's on some other.
yeah, but
I don't even know.
Pro Jared was invited to guest star in that episode as just a guy who reviews a game that the main characters make, and he actually talks about it like without any restrictions on his channel. He ended up having like a kind of experience. He had to pay for his flight first of all, and then he also just had. They gave him like a set that looked similar to his, but obviously couldn't have like any copyrighted material in it.
They asked him to be on the show, but they can't pay for the flight.
Did they? Well, they gave him a blue shirt, which he got to keep.
I mean, you got $300, but what's that to a blue shirt?
That's true.
Man loves his blue shirt.
Go check out that full video that he made. It's called so I'm going to be on TV. That's the title. But yeah. So again, back to Club Penguin. Yeah.
He's going to Club Penguin or you want to go some other online?
Do I have any more memes here actually? I don't know.
Oh yeah. See if you got some more good ones.
Nah, that's it. All right. But yeah.
We can talk about the map of Club Penguin.
I don't understand that map. I didn't play for a solid 8 years.
Have any of you guys seen that image where everyone playing the game just made a swastika for some reason?
They were all the same color and they just lined up.
Everyone's avatar just lined up in the form of a swastika.
Let's remind everyone that it was a sign of peace for like India or something before,
Yeah.
just making sure.
Respects. But
I'm pretty sure it's a sign of peace if it's backwards. The swastika backwards is it's a peace sign.
yeah, it was originally a peace sign, and then
Yeah. Learn history here.
The panels are supposed to be seminars. But,
Inkling Brothers podcast, all about Club Penguin history lessons. This is an anime. So
Matchmaking.
only at Liberty City, guys. But yeah, I mean, like, there's more online games that we want to talk about.
Anyone ever played RuneScape?
no,
There's a lot of good ones on
Too
there.
long. Played that game for too long.
Yeah, it was for. It was like Club Penguin. There was like Wizards 101, RuneScape, Toontown.
Did anyone see like that it could stream? Like that one time when everyone was just in this one room and he couldn't leave that room. Like all of the avatars were just blocking the exit.
Oh, RuneScape. There was
RuneScape was the shit though.
Yeah, it was like every time I would get on after school, I would just see people say, "Oh, 1, 2, 4, if you want to be my girlfriend."
Yeah, just like Club Penguin, you could talk to people, and it just resulted in so many great moments. My favorite was, and there's images all over the internet of this one moment. A guy was talking shit to someone else. It's like, I get 10,000 more bitches than you. And the guy responds with, 10,000 times 0 is still 0. And then the guy walks away.
Do you guys have any more like memories of like just MMOs in general? I think you've been silent for the longest time. Like,
Do you have anything from RuneScape or anything?
I like the Club Penguin mention. I think I'm just observing the memes and really taking it in. I'm just sad that Club Penguin is gone. A moment of silence. Because I'm playing Splatoon.
we're Squid kids now.
Splatoon was like an MMO. Like,
That would be interesting, actually. I don't know how they would work.
I mean, we know we have the hub on the hub.
The hub is already resulting in a lot of fun stuff.
So what would that just be on a full scale?
I wish my parents loved me as much as I love this game. Brought to you in my... What other online games do you have memories of? This doesn't have to be limited to just MMOs. Like just multiplayer games in general.
I was playing Final Fantasy 14.
I want to play that.
I remember this is before the update where they fixed the whole white mage thing. Because at this point everybody hates white mages ever since astrology came out. So I remember I forgot what city I was in, but literally the entire city was full of white mage characters, and they were all just casting holy. And it's just a tribute to white mage because they still love white mage and they still play it.
Final Fantasy 14, like, I haven't played the actual game yet, but I've seen so many playthroughs and reviews of it. Yeah, you guys follow Call Me Johnny?
Yeah.
He always often does Final Fantasy 14 streams, and the game looks like a lot of fun, and definitely want to get a better PC than this piece of shit. I definitely want to try.
Now you can probably play Minesweeper on that.
You can't play anything on that.
I heard you guys on consoles.
That game on Windows. Well, they actually
It's on PS4, I don't know on Xbox, but I know it's on PS4.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure it's got Minesweeper.
Oh yeah, you can play Minesweeper. That's perfect.
Yeah, man. I'm sure Minecraft has fine on that too. Do that.
Okay, Minecraft, I'm sure, yeah.
Well, yeah, Minecraft runs on everything. I played it on my graphic
No,
calculator.
Minecraft wouldn't run on that.
If you really put your mind to it, anything can be played on your graphic calculator.
So what do you call the game where everyone just kept writing boobs with 800?
That's what we call hentai, sir.
It's called turning the calculator on.
Oh.
Yeah, and y'all clear the history.
Thank God you don't vote for your calculator.
You guys play GTA 5, right?
Oh yeah, there's some funny stuff that happens in GTA 5 online too. I remember one, this didn't happen to me, but I saw like videos and gifs of it, of a group called Achievement Hunter, and they were playing just multiplayer. And one of the guys was getting a haircut with their character, so another character rolls up, and because he was getting a haircut, he couldn't get out of it, he was stuck in the animation. So the other guy just kept chucking in grenades and rocket rounds into the store. And he's like, I can't get up! I'm stuck! Finish the haircut, please! Throwing Molotov cocktails, and then he burned to death after he finally finished his haircut.
So,
Personal circle fell.
yeah, I think Achievement Hunter is just, they're hilarious. Just those group of guys are perfect. Have you seen their group heists?
Yep.
Those, like, they go into the reality stage where they're actually in a room. They're not behind their character, they're actually in a room. And they have
This was before the actual heist into the game.
So
they were sick waiting.
So they actually plan it out and all this, like, one person needs to get a fire truck or something like that. And anyway, it always goes out horribly bad. It's always, there's this lad called Gavin. He's okay in a helicopter, but he's horrible at everything else. And it's usually him that fucks up everything in the whole game. But if you do have a chance, look at Achievement Hunter on Let's Play. It's honestly amazing.
There's some good stuff. Even without outsiders saying another, you can find some pretty funny stuff. I remember I saw one thing where, I can't remember the group, but the guy was in his home in the game, but there was a bounty on him, so the guy was...
whoever sneezes.
And, yeah, bless you. And there was the guy wanted to get the bounty, so he was waiting outside his house. So the guy's like, I can't get out. I'm gonna get shot down, so he tried his best, but the guy got him mad as soon as he walked out of his house, and he claimed his bounty. Should probably fix that.
Yeah, my experience with that game was so horrible because I remember I still have it on PS3, but I remember when Online came out. I made my own character, and I was chilling in the middle of the streets or whatever. I had the option where you don't take damage if you get hit or anything like that. I had it on, and I remember I was just chilling there. I went to go grab something to eat. When I come back, there's this guy in a gigantic truck, and he runs me over, and I remember I'm just over there flying, and I land on the ground, and then I get back up as if nothing happened. But he does it on purpose. He kept running me over, and I was like, I'm so done with this game.
I do want to give a quick plug now that we're talking about GTA 5. We did do a Team Triforce podcast episode a while back. I forgot what episode
On
number this
GTA
is. No, not specifically about GTA 5, but the thing with earlier episodes is that we had a stock footage running in the background so that there would be something on screen playing while we're just talking about anything. And Isaac was editing at the time, and he had footage of GTA 5 on. And there are times when I'm just home and I'm just listening to the archives of our shows, and I have it playing on my TV. And usually,
he's his own biggest fan.
Usually I would just have it open like in another tab and I would just work on something else. But sometimes I'll just put it on my TV. And he had GTA 5 stock footage on for that episode from some of his heists. And it's just so hilarious, like just watching it, like this silent footage of all this mayhem, like people getting run over, like this guy is just robbing like a store clerk owner. And we're just talking about completely different topics about like the DC like cinematic universe.
So let's talk about Justice League.
Do we want to talk about Justice League?
No.
Justice League? No. Like a woman said no. Alright, but I guess to close off on the MMO talk, something I am really excited for, because this is something that I did play.
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. I've been preparing for this moment, but one of the original MMOs that I actually did get the opportunity to play was Cartoon Network's Fusion Fall. It's definitely a really interesting game, limited at the time, and definitely a lot of flaws in it. But for what it was worth, it was a really solid MMO, and definitely something I would recommend to beginners. And sadly, as of a few years ago, the MMO shut down, but a group of fans have managed to actually come together sometime after it shut down, and now they're completely just remaking the entire game just from the ground up. Like, they've been redesigning models of all the characters. I remember one of the cool things they brought up was how the Powerpuff Girls are in that game, and they're basically represented in that game as, like 13-year-olds, like kind of like the anime Powerpuff Girls, but they're not the same characters. They're representing the original.
We don't know that Powerpuff Girls had an anime.
But if you take all the models from the original game, they're not the same size whatsoever. Like the original devs just didn't look into it. Like everyone, like one character is just taller than the other. But they actually, the new people, the fans who are coming together to remake this game, they came together and they're actually just remaking like all the models. Like they're much more clean, more HD, and everyone is like of a similar height or at the height you're supposed to be. And I follow all their updates, Fusion Fall Legacy and Fusion Fall Retro, which is a remake of the original game. And I'm really looking forward to how it turns out. It's going to be a long time since, but they recently put out a trailer just showing all these characters interacting, and it just makes me reminisce of the old Cartoon Network bumpers where the characters just live in that city and they just all interact with each other. And it's such a dream come true that these people are just able to put this thing back together. I'm just hoping it doesn't get cease and desist, but...
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. Since
Yeah.
it's fan-made, they didn't get flagged for copyright.
I've heard, I don't know if I can confirm this, but I've heard a legend.
Third, I don't know the answer to all. I know, of course. But, that's not my job, So I just roasted them. Sent it in the DMs.
And you weren't kicked out?
When he takes over Liberty City social media.
Guys, so she's losing her badge at the end of this.
Someone call staff?
Yeah. What's up, Eugene?
We got feedback. This is a secret room, guys.
Eugene's our department head. He's on his way right now.
Shout out to Erin.
He doesn't need to know.
Oh, he's from New Jersey.
What up?
Hey.
No, I'm from Patterson to go.
Patterson?
I'm just saying, he's really good at roasting.
Really?
Only when I get mad.
Can you compete with an 8-year-old girl?
I compete with my sister.
You mean her?
I'm eager. Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
I
Have you met an 8-year-old, sir?
I just want to see Wendy's versus Arby's at this point.
Listen, KFC wants to sell this beef we have, but he's too chicken to even start anything, so.
There's the beef.
No, Gordon Ramsay is a meme too. Well, he's not a meme.
Gordon
but he's
Ramsay.
I don't know if you should say that to his face.
Yo, I am so looking forward to Gordon Ramsay in Deadpool 2, man. He
Oh,
was
you're
so
serious?
good.
Oh my god.
What's the superpower? Just yelling at people?
Yeah, just yelling at people, just cursing them out.
I get to yell at Ryan Reynolds and I get paid.
He literally roasts people.
Literally.
He yells at them.
He just
At their food. Like they sent him pictures of
Makes them
food.
cry.
There was this one meme, and it was like these kids, like, it was a post on Tumblr, where these kids just got together, and it was basically some sort of like improv class or something like that. And so I think they were pretending to be Gordon Ramsay. So I don't know, it was like, I think the joke was, why is this calamari like not properly roasted? Like, it just sounds like Squidward still like cursing SpongeBob out. I don't know, like, I went nowhere with this joke.
Damn. Well, can I ask? You said on Tumblr, right? How many people were offended or triggered by that?
Did you just assume?
That's offensively triggered? Yes.
People just what?
This guy actually made a trigger meme of my cosplay last year.
Oh yeah, last year we were in, and if you guys were here, who was here at Liberty last year?
All right.
You'll have a great time.
You missed one hell of a party. But we were in the interview room. We were doing interviews with Ian Rubin and Brittany Lotta. We were just interviewing them, having a good time with our lovely New Jersey roasting host. And I think we were setting up the camera, and Ray looks at me, and well, he's looking at our friend Lawrence, who just made like a, I don't know, what did Lawrence say that got you mad? Someone said something that got you like a little upset. No, not upset. You just like, you went at, like he said a joke, he quipped like, oh, why don't you put the lens cap on? And then he just like got mad and tight-lipped, and then I took that picture, put the triggered image over it, and it's like 100% triggered. But he's wearing the same snake cosplay. So just imagine him in the same cosplay, but with triggered right underneath.
I think that's actually a good segue into talking about my snake cosplay in general. This is actually a Halloween costume that I made a few years ago when I went to a Halloween party that my dad's job was hosting. And I brought it back a few years later when I started going to cons, and I wanted to improve upon it. And basically, none of what I'm wearing right now, like, I'm gonna stand up for a second.
Yeah, show off your cosplay.
Yeah. All of this is just household. It's just household material right here, like hand-me-downs. I just found whatever there was in the house. Like none of this
Ladies and
I paid
gentlemen,
for online.
He's solid and he's single.
Okay, bud.
Doing you a favor.
You're missing a cigarette.
That is true, but I can't find any right now.
He also doesn't smoke.
Yeah.
Big bro.
If you vape in this room, you're officially kicked out. Hand your badge up to the
Well, I
table.
lost my weight, so
Hand your badge up to the table.
I decided to take Inkling's advice. I only had a few more days of living anyway after MGS4.
PS4? Is that what it is?
MGS4. I mean, a P4?
Which I hope is on PS4 sometime soon.
No, you mean P4?
P4.
No, it's Bronx thing. We call the PlayStation 4 the P4.
P4. If you had a PlayStation 3, it was the P3.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, you got 2K? Yeah, man. You got a 360? No, man. It's P3.
Are you a fan of Xbox?
Yeah.
So you guys know Minecraft now, so enjoy the 12-year-olds.
I'm pretty sure you're already getting a good team.
Enjoy the 12-year-old like Isaac does every day, right?
I mean, that's what you asked me to do, right? The other day when I saw you in a van full of 12-year-olds.
Good comeback.
Dead babies.
I mean, you heard her say it, guys, so right now she's losing her badge and the police are on their way.
They had superpowers, I couldn't help myself.
But yeah. So all of this is like just entirely handmade, and the only thing that really needed to be made was the solid eye. And I gotta give props to my boy Lawrence. He is a student at Dartmouth, and he works at a 3D printing shop over there. And he actually managed to find a 3D model of the solid eye and print it out for me. And he got it to me just in time for Comic-Con in 2014. And literally that morning, I just rushed to get it painted and I made this texture on here in using PowerPoint a few days earlier because I knew it was coming with it. And but yeah, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because if you ever wanted to cosplay, like I've been following cosplayers for many years, like Malin Chan and all that. I've seen what they do, and I'm just saying, if you want to cosplay, whatever character it is, just go for it. Like, just do it, because I've been doing the same cosplay like shamelessly for the past couple of years, and I've been getting so many people calling me out for like photos, and I'm not trying to like brag or anything, but the reason why I'm saying that, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because it just feels good, like it just feels like really humble, and like you're having a good time if it's pleasing somebody at the convention is what I'm trying to say. But definitely something that if you're first getting into cosplay, your best place to go to if you want something affordable and not just spending $200 or more on something online is thrift shops. Thrift shops are like all around, super cheap. Yep, in any neighborhood. Just go in, and if you don't find what you need, just find another one. They're really cheap. We were just in a thrift shop the other day. You found a wedding dress for how much? For like
a $40 wedding dress, everybody.
Oh, that's the price of real love.
See, TLC, that's all it takes.
TLC? No.
So we're married or something? Or? I'm kidding, her love is priceless.
But go to thrift shops, yeah, and just make do with what you have. Like this cardboard box, I just found a random box in my house, and I just painted it like based on the Smash Brothers box that he uses. Yeah.
Has anyone ever seen a Shiwaneta, A World Without Dirty Jokes?
I saw.
It sounds like a terrible world. But I have not seen that.
It's about totalitarian words. Totalitarian.
Total Italian.
Yeah. Totally tacos.
Let's totally explain what was Erin trying to say. I think she was trying to say total Italian salad. What do you guys think she was trying to say? What do you guys think she was trying to say?
God forbid anyone be Italian in that show. I'd be so screwed. It's a show where dirty jokes are legal and nobody knows what curse words are or how babies are made. And there's this Blue Snow who is a blue terrorist who wants to fight for her rights, make sure everyone knows what hentai is. So she, being the hero she is, wears a sheet on her head, no underwear, no bra, and no underwear where it should be. Yes, underwear on her face. Yes. Yes, to hide her identity. Anyway, she would have a giant flag that says socks on it, the name of her terrorist organization, SOX. I went to Faberland. I used to be in marching band, so I had flagpoles. Yeah, I use those powers for evil now. And I made the socks flag. I was at Otakon last weekend. Hold on, I'm telling you a damn good story.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
You said flagpoles. Now, were those physical flagpoles or from the guides?
Well, it's Bandcamp, so.
Yeah.
She'll get it when
I mean,
you're 8.
She still thinks babies come from storks, alright?
listen, they're really big birds. You should see them.
They can carry a baby.
Yeah, they probably could. That's how they reproduce. But anyway, I got stuck. I'm like flipping everybody off, yelling the word pussy as I'm dressed as this character because her literally, I kid you not, her catchphrase is cock and balls. And
What a great time to enter.
What a great time.
Isn't it great that we're 18 plus, guys?
Yeah. Anyway, I get con security. Taps me on the shoulder. Says, "Can you come with us?" Oh shit! It was the cock and balls, wasn't it? So I'm with.
It's always the cock and balls.
Oh yeah, always the cock and balls. Sheet on my body, underwear on my head, flagpole saying socks on my shoulder. I go march to security up with them upstairs. And apparently, the only reason they pulled me over was because they banned signs from the convention. So they were totally cool with cock and balls, flipping everybody off for 8-year-olds. But it was the sign that said SOX that caught them off guard. So their rule was, if you can prove that this sign is part of your cosplay and it's not you trying to offend anybody, then have at it. You can keep your sign. So just wanted to go online, find a picture of blue snow, holding the Slav's flag, and just show it to them, and be like, have a good day, that's all. I'm going online, and all I can find are naked pictures of her holding the flag, and I'm just to them. So I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and then their director, after like 10 minutes of me going online trying to find stuff, comes behind me and goes, that's a legit cosplay, I love it. He was a huge fan of Shimon So, and then next thing you know, he's going to them, this is a great cosplay. It's about a lewd terrorist who fights everybody else cock and balls. I got to go home. It was great.
Has a happy ending.
Yeah.
I feel like if I wore my underwear on my head, I'd just get asked to leave.
I mean, the reason she wears underwear on her head is because if you touch underwear, that's lewd. You're going to go to prison. So naturally, you put underwear on your head, and no one can reveal your identity. Also, if you take off her sheet, you'll get a naked woman, and that's also lewd. So, it's really, really great, you know? Sex terrorists know where it's at.
Put that on a shirt.
We were in Washington, D.C., and I could not say the word terrorist for my life. Because even if it was just a lewd terrorist, like I just want to show everyone what hentai is. I have no means of being a bad person. I just want to, have a good time.
Show hentai.
And show hentai. I actually, because I was wearing that cosplay, got pulled up to participate in the W Your Own Hentai panel. Very fun.
So my question is, what kind of underwear was it?
Ooh. Pink ribbon.
The Victoria's Secret kind?
The AliExpress kind.
I didn't even know AliExpress made underwear.
If you look hard enough, you can find anything on AliExpress.
So, going back to anime, not underwear.
Technically,
that was anime.
Let's just talk about underwear and anime. How about that? We're starting with vampire.
Can we talk about the Mexican Iron Man?
Yes. The Mexican Iron Man?
Oh, yeah, you guys are probably...
Should we explain this?
Alright, so...
Just let it be.
You guys have been here for... I don't know, should we let it be?
Should we let it be just...
My eyes are top
What are the chances that you
Mexican
will
Iron
win
Man
after
and
this
the chick with the really big eyes?
Which chick?
Which chick?
That does not narrow it down at all.
Are you talking about
Eyes.
Oh,
No,
no,
talk
the
about
reason...
Donkey Kong like that.
The reason why in the thumbnail is just like a
Mishmash of nonsense.
mishmash of nonsense like this. Basically, for every Inkling Brothers podcast episode, in post-production, I have to put together a thumbnail based on whatever we talked about in the episode. Usually, we just shoot the shit, so we don't know.
Which is why it's crazy, like, unrelated. You have, Pokemon, but you also have Oreos and money for when you have to pay a whore in Oreos.
Question.
That's a story if you want to.
Why does
Another
the
day.
SpongeBob on your thumbnail look like those little SpongeBob popsicles you get from the shop?
Well, that's a costume.
That, my friend, is the homeless SpongeBob that we found on
In Times Square.
Literally,
Dude, I want a SpongeBob popsicle looking like that. Look how big that is. Yo, Kaiba, give me that popsicle.
You'll probably find a dead body inside.
Ooh, I'm into that.
It's flavor.
Isaac, what are you doing?
All right, Erin.
I have a feeling like this image tells a story. So Kaiba went to the ice cream van. He took out a stack of $1 bills and said, "Give me ice cream." And he walked away with an oversized SpongeBob popsicle, and then he walked into the park, and then Donkey Kong and King Kong. Who wants to take the story from me? I lost it.
Why are you Mad Libs now?
I'm just looking at the Persona 5 protagonist. I don't know about you, but good guy.
Good guy.
Good guy.
But yeah, the reason why we have the thumbnail like this for this panel is because, in general, these are all just past topics that we talked about, and I really don't mean to sound like someone who's just like trying to plug their shit, but
Now what? So check out our channel.
the only way you will understand half of these memes
Just if you want to listen to those episodes.
The reason why there's Oreos and a dollar bill together
There's a story I gave that
you can talk about that right now.
Should we say that story at the least?
We should, yeah.
Alright, so I was watching a really shitty movie in theaters because sometimes I'm really bored and those are the drastic measures I take to entertain myself. So I went to see Scary Movie 5 and it was awful. And there was a scene where a guy was trying to pay a woman that was acting like a whore in Oreos. No, I'm sorry. He was trying to act like a whore and she wanted like buy her. So she was like, so he asked her, "Can I pay you in euros?" That's what he said.
And the whole time you're just wondering, like, what kind of a shitty movie, like, why would people want to come watch this? Like, it just
That's what I was saying. It's like, who the fuck is this aimed for? This is killing me. And after he said that line, he's like, "Can I pay you in euros?" I don't even know what's the joke there, but that's besides the point. A guy behind me, as soon as I was thinking, he's like, "Who would watch this?" says, "Oreos? Why would they do that?" He misheard it as Oreos, and I just started dying in my chair.
I think the joke there is that a euro is
I guess he just misheard it
the
as
cost of an Oreo.
I think he just misheard it as Oreos, but it's just
Guys,
it was so perfectly
if you have
timed.
Oreos at home, know that you now
You
have
can buy horse noise
you can buy horse with it, and you have valuable money at home.
Thank you.
Double stuff.
Yo, mega stuff.
Don't eat your money.
That's like gold bars right there.
Yeah, double cream.
Oh.
Invest.
Do you like the regular gold?
A single dollar goes a long way, guys.
You guys got Oreos for $1?
No.
Yeah, anyway, where do you guys live?
Yeah, where do you guys?
Over there in Jersey,
Yeah, Mr. Oh,
Oreos are $1 is like unheard of.
We live in the Bronx.
Wait, I live in Jersey and they're like $3 a bag.
They're like $2 a bag in Florida. Like,
Then
yo,
move.
y'all New York people, I swear to God. Trying to take all my
Actually, I want to say, just want to make it clear, I'm not going at Jersey. I'm not hating anyone there. I love Palisades Mall. Yeah.
Only New Yorkers.
You buy Oreos in bags, sir?
Yeah, I was about to say, wait.
So the Palisades Mall, you know that. Where y'all from in Jersey? Where y'all from? You said Patterson.
He did not say
There
that.
was a guy that said Patterson. He was
I'm
sitting
from
there.
California.
Patterson.
Yeah,
Patterson. Okay.
Except not really.
Erin, stop trying to find next targets here in the audience. Don't tell them your address. Just pound that really quick.
Listen, I want to go to their house. Do you guys have any 12-year-olds?
No.
Whoa.
Don't answer that at all.
We took 2 seconds to answer that question. Go home, call your parents.
Put a restraining order.
Call your parents and tell them to lock your doors.
Nobody wants to come to the
Don't,
hotel.
and make sure, if someone comes to their house selling insurance, don't answer the door.
Get your parents' permission before going online.
Does anyone remember that? How back in the day commercials would always ask you?
Yeah.
They're like, no commercials
They don't do
didn't
that anymore.
What was the point? No kid ever asked their parents.
Going back to Club Penguin, I always used my own personal email instead of my parents' email when I signed up. I was such a bad kid.
Oh man, motorcycle game material right here.
Make sure you're 13 years or older before you sign up for an account. I'm 9. Joke's on
On you.
That's not,
How many people just kept making up their age? It's like, yeah, I'm 18.
I made up my age when I made my YouTube channel. I said I was 35.
When I logged on to Disney Channel, and I knew damn well I didn't ask mom that I could go on, I had Bob the Builder in the background. Just so I could switch tabs like a real
I got at the
player.
age
Like a
whenever
real
I signed up
player.
for those fake accounts, and it'd always be 1990.
What if there was a website that asked you for your age, but to make sure you weren't too old to be on there? You had to lie about being younger. It's like, I was born in 1996. I mean, 2006.
If you go on Wattpad, they actually have something against that.
Really?
So if you're like over 100, it's like, oh, we'd love to hear your stories.
Who here went to CartoonNetwork.com to play those Flash games that we
Yep, Flash games
that
was
we all
shit.
loved? Who remembers that Ed, Ed, and Eddy game?
Which one, like the wrestling one?
There were a couple of them. Who remembers the skating game?
Oh, yeah. Skating game.
The skating game was the shit. Who remembers the...
I remember the wrestling game.
Who remembers the Jawbreaker pipe game?
Yo, I remember that game actually.
You know why? You know how I know about those games still today? Unregistered hypercam.
Yeah.
So much. But like, Flash games in general, and websites that she didn't ask for. Those were, I think that sums up the internet before 2009. Just flash games, not asking your parents, Club Penguin,
RuneScape,
Toontown.
There was this weird commercial once. I think it was like Free Pebbles. They had some like, yeah, I remember watching this as a kid. They had some racing game that you could play online.
Memegenerator.net.
That's probably what it is right now. The domain's probably not registered anymore. But
Foxy.
but it's weird because you hear Barney saying like, "Oh, get your parents' permission before going online." Like, how does Barney, a caveman, know what the internet is?
I thought you were talking about Barney the dinosaur for a second.
Barney, get it? Wait,
What, the impression? Oh yeah. Get your parents' permission before going online.
Does that sound like Barney the dinosaur?
That sounds like a dying ass old man.
Damn, he really wants you to ask your parents to go.
If your parents are dead, can you still? How do you ask them to go online?
If you're an orphan, how do you ask your parents? Like, so, this is what I really want to go to.
Do you just pray, like, just hope they answer back,
Like you take your laptop to the gravesite, like flip it over so they see the screen. So
using a Ouija board.
Like, fuck no.
Get a job.
I still remember.
You were an accident.
I'm still seeing people play games like Gaia and
Oh gosh.
The Fierce Knight from Yu-Gi-Oh?
Gaia Online.
What is that?
Oh
The
man.
amount of people that still play that game and just put hours into it.
That was middle school days.
Middle
It's
school?
basically, so it's similar to Minutia. It's like a role playing or art. It's like a forum they made. It's like, how do I say it?
I think I know what you're talking about now.
Forum,
A friend of mine did that.
Online life type of
Yeah,
thing.
I remember
They
now.
have mini games, they have forums where you do role play, storytelling, and art stuff. And I don't know why I was convinced, but someone convinced me to check it out again, like within the year. I looked at it, it's boring. It's
Actually,
not really boring.
Well, the way you described it before, why would I want to log out?
This is my life now.
I recently signed back up for an account for it to see what it was like, and I was like, oh, well, nothing's really changed. It's been, 10 years since I came on here, and there's still people talking about their virtual girlfriends.
What?
10 years? That's a long relationship that I can have.
most marriages don't even last that long.
Get over greedy.
I think, talking about virtual relationships or people who meet online, who still talks to their internet friends from when they first played RuneScape or Toontown?
Oh man, I miss my old internet friend from RuneScape.
I've met many friends on like forums and all that.
Do you remember the days where you just come home, go to the library,
Yeah,
not do your
that's what
homework,
I did because I didn't have a computer for the longest time.
not do your homework, log in, and you're like, yo, it's Swordman23.
On the internet.
Swordman23, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Shield Knight 7?
Awesome. You want to go fight this boss?
Totally.
All right, hold on, my Totino's are in. I took my pizza rolls out. Okay, I'm gonna log out. Bye. See you tomorrow.
Alright, it's my bedtime. I got to
Yeah, my parents want me off too.
Oh, hey, do you watch Danny Phantom?
We do have about 5 minutes left. So
I thought it was like until 7:30.
Is it?
We have an hour and a half.
We have
it's 8. Sorry, I was looking at my watch.
Well, I mean, technically.
8:20.
But yeah, I would like to actually mention one more thing. I wanted to talk about the Mexican Iron Man that's there.
Last topic of the
He's actually right there, and he's actually right there, and he's actually 2 blocks down from this hotel.
Yeah.
He lives in Times Square.
I don't know if he's there right now, but he usually is there.
Yeah, basically, it's a running
We should all go pay him a visit.
the Tony Stark, like the one that you see on Times Square, is just a Mexican.
We should all go sell him some car insurance.
Senor Stark.
He's Eric Zero.
Make sure he doesn't have any 12-year-olds in there.
Well, it's okay. They're all
She's gonna
good.
take it.
They're okay. They're doing just fine.
Just fine.
Just fine.
Just fine.
This is gonna be hell to watch back.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to like, since we're just closing in on things, first of all, I just want to say thank you to, is my mic still on?
Yo, Swordman23 just logged out.
Server issue. I just want to say, first of all, thank you to everyone who actually stayed. Like, we have people who came in, we appreciate them too, but like, you guys are like the true fans, and the reason, like, you know, we do want to be honest, and we did have like a couple worries going in with this panel. Like, would people actually be interested in like just seeing us, like a couple of like regular people who work at the con, just talk about some random stuff and all that? And really, something that we just wanted to do is that we wanted to prove that if you guys just wanted to do something, like if you guys want to make a podcast like this, just go out and do it. Like,
Go for it.
there's like things like, well, Skype is like on its way out.
Skype
We have
is shit.
Discord.
Use Discord.
We have to use Discord. There's plenty of like.
Guys, you just offended Eddie. Look at how down he looks.
Skype died, man.
Just find like just find like an audio recorder somewhere online. Just one.
Yeah.
Just
Audacity.
get together with your friends, make a schedule, think about what you want your podcast to be about, and just go for it. You know.
Yeah, and just talk about anything. Just shoot the shit, or just have some topics that you want to focus in on. But don't be afraid to like go off topic.
We've been doing this for several years. We made several mistakes, and we still don't claim ourselves to be perfect. But we've learned a lot, and it's a true honor to be here and for like to be in front of you guys. And thank you guys for just coming down and for just giving us your time and to participate in all these subjects. Because we know you guys will probably be rather doing something better, like out at the con and hanging out with people. But you guys probably just came in to relax and all that. So you know,
Just
I
chill, talk.
hope that what we did in the past hour and a half, you know, just made you kick back and just get some stress off of you.
So Club Penguin memes, buying
Yeah.
board of Oreos.
Katie Rob?
Mexican Iron Man. And but yeah, if you guys enjoyed like what we talked about today, and you guys want to see like more of what we do, just go on YouTube, just look up the Inkling Brothers podcast. It'll probably be the first thing that comes up, really. So, I guess with all that said, that's pretty much it. So,
Hey, shout out to our friend who couldn't be here.
shout out to Lawrence, who we really wanted to be at this panel, but
Our
he's heading
Ivy
for
League
finals.
boy.
Hope he passes, but hopefully next year. But yeah, that's pretty much us. My name is Ray, also known as Meatloaf Man. I am the purple squid on here.
I'm Erin.
Shout out
Squid.
I don't have a mic. Oh, I did now. Hi, I'm Erin.
I just want to say a huge shout out to our friends over there recording for us. Thank you, Jim.
Shout out to Eddy.
Thank you, J-Dubs and Eddie.
Is that Hideo Kojima?
My name's Isaac.
Dad?